Hey guys, this is Matt at Pioneer.
Hey, we're here with Matt Hadden, president of Pioneer Belts.
Some of the best belts in the entire world are made by Pioneer Belts.
Hats off to Pioneer. They have the best belts.
I got one of the best belts in the game right now. Got a Pioneer adjustable lever belt.
To me, this is the best belt out there.
So the other brands, they're just straight out. I don't want to say they're not as good. They just straight out suck.
And their belts are used and have been used to break multiple world records.
Pioneer began in Sidney, Nebraska, a little small town in the western panhandle where Cabela's is from. 1979 is when we were incorporated. My grandfather, my mother's dad, started it, and he would sell sporting equipment, sporting goods, jerseys, hats, that kind of thing, out of the back of his car in western Nebraska, northern Colorado, and eastern Wyoming. All of the manufacturing stuff was done in El Paso. When my dad took it over from him in the early to mid 80s, he moved the family down to El Paso. And then in 96, we moved from El Paso to Coleman. My parents grew up in Sidney, a small town about the same size as Coleman. They wanted the kids to kind of have that same upbringing. They really just kind of took a circle right in the middle of the state because they knew that we'd one day transit from all of our suppliers in El Paso and Dallas, Houston, and right here in the big country, everything is one day from all the big metro areas. My wife, Reagan, and I, we were living in Fort Worth at the time. I was in the golf business. When she got into grad school, got accepted into ACU, I started looking for golf jobs in the Abilene area and surrounding areas. And about that time, I used to think it was coincidence. Now I think it was God's plan that mom and dad called me out of the blue saying they wanted to step away from the business. They didn't foresee it making it much longer. Obviously, I was the last one on the totem pole, and they're like, did you want to take over the business? And at the time, obviously, I was looking for a job. You know, I could put as much time and effort into this thing as I wanted and could grow it as much as I could. You know, I knew the risk, but also at the time, like, we were already at the floor anyway, so it's not like it was a huge risk. I didn't want to come back, but just the circumstance kind of forced me here, and boy, am I glad that it worked out that way. When we started focusing on retail, straight to direct-to-consumer sales, it started kind of gaining traction at a pace that we did not foresee, we being my parents and I. And I remember pretty vividly multiple times sitting on that splitter 2 o'clock in the morning by myself out here, looking through the names, making sure the orders were right. And I remember looking at Denmark, next order, Belgium, next order, Canada, next order, literally just country after country after country. And thinking, man, this is pretty cool. This would have probably been 4 years into me working here when we put up the map and started putting thumbtacks in all of the countries. And last time we counted, but we were at like 128 different countries that we've shipped belts to. Social media made the world small. At the time, Instagram started getting popular. We got on there. My wife kind of made me get on there. I didn't really want to. Instagram was the new thing. I'm glad that happened because it shrunk the world for us. It allowed us to speak to influential fitness folks from literally from everywhere. It stemmed from what we believe is obviously a good product, something that they can rely on whenever they're, testing the limits of human strength. That coupled with some patents and some proprietary stuff that we do here that sets us apart from everybody else.
In the beginning, we were limited to pixels. So I would have to go in and fix every single pixel on the edge to make it nice and clean. That kind of started with the laser. The images were a little bit blurry on the ends and they weren't coming out just right. So I took the time to actually just make it look good. With lasering and embroidery, you're kind of limited to a nice outline, simple colors. If we get into the vinyl designs, then that's when it really opens up into more realistic and just out there. Really just the Build-A-Bear of belts right here.
People don't expect, worldwide success in a small town. It's something that I'm deeply appreciative of the crew that we've had. We've had some longtime employees that I couldn't do this by myself at all. This place is special. It is a lot of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We've got, older folks and we've got younger folks, checkered pasts and squeaky clean pasts, but they're all hardworking. They all have bought into the vision that we are not just a local company, that we are sending these belts out to people that do better than anybody else. I mean, professional athletes, world record holder powerlifters, these kind of guys they're not just your average Joes that we're making these things for, which, that's one thing that we all kind of know. And there's a little bit of pressure in-house to make sure that these products are well received.
We had a grocery store in Santa Ana, and I was just looking for another family-owned kind of business atmosphere to be in, and I found this place. It's a great place to work, good people, and it's very family-oriented and very pleasant. Pioneer does a great job hiring Coleman people. Coleman County is the people that work here, making sure the belts are the right size, the right kind of belts, what the customer wants on them, color-wise, suede-wise, make sure everything is skived right, black edged right, make sure the buckles are on right, make sure the stitching looks good, make sure the embroidery looks good and the laser burn looks good, and just pretty much just everything about it.
We're the best at what we do, so we got to keep it that way. It took us a long time to get to the best, what I would consider us the best, and yes, I would. I think I could probably come up with 100,000 people that would say that Pioneer was the best as well. If we're considered the best at what we do, if we all buy into that mentality, there is no limit for us. There is no ceiling for what we do.
That's a sweet belt right there. Wayno, you had a belt like that when you played, didn't you? You said Wayno? Look at that thing. That thing is shiny. Yeah.
All right, so you've made a name in the fitness world, but now Pioneer has broken into baseball.
Yeah.
How did that start?
So I think Sawyer.
I played college baseball, ended up in the Midwest, and then down here in Texas, coaching, playing, and then to here, when I got here, we were doing in the fitness industry. I was kind of, I guess I was like, as a baseball guy, I was thinking, well, we need to try out baseball belts.
Baseball background, was eager to kind of get into that space. I think he realized that the segue or the progression from what we were doing already with the baseball or with the powerlifting belts into baseball wouldn't be terribly difficult. He spearheaded a project with the University of California.
Some of my coaches in college, they're now on staff at University of California. Reached out to them and was like, hey, we're giving this a go. Would you guys want to collaborate and try them out, give us feedback, see if this is a product that you guys like, that could have potential, that other programs would like it.
They enjoyed them enough that they shouted us out on media days, and it kind of, and they gave us a couple of really good reviews. So we were like, okay. At this point, I was still uninvolved. I was still on the powerlifting side, but I kind of was like let him loose to spearhead the baseball project. I started getting some really, really good feedback. We had already kind of planned on doing some other colleges and stuff.
They wore them for a season, loved them, and then after that, Matt just kind of went crazy, blasting off belts to pro guys. And
Lindor, Soto, a hot.
When you could see big name guys on television wearing it, people are like, oh wow, yeah. It automatically gives you credibility.
And we branched out into the baseball world on the same game plan as we did with the powerlifting. So I started reaching out to all these professional baseball players via DM. My favorite story that I tell about baseball is Luke, my oldest son. His favorite baseball player is Kyle Tucker. I did the whole custom belt under the direction of Luke, and we sent it down there. I let Luke handwrite a note saying, Kyle, you're my favorite player. Here's a belt that my dad made for you, blah, blah, blah. I put my cell phone number and business card in there. And 2 days later, Mauricio Dubon, utility player, two-time Gold Glove winner, Mauricio Dubon shoots me a text and was like, hey, man, we got that belt for Kyle. Everybody loves it. This is awesome. And then from there, almost all the Astros were a Pioneer. And then from there, they would post on social media and, old ex-teammates or whatever. And it's just snowballed into, I think last year at the end of the year, we had somewhere around 375 big league guys wearing it on a daily basis. This one of the things that kind of drove me to stay motivated was sitting down on the couch with the kids and being like, Daddy, did you make that one? Dad, oh, there's a Pioneer belt and all this kind of thing. Like those were super cool moments that I'll never forget.
What's been your proudest moment this past year?
I still get really excited when I see crosses on belt loops. I think that there is a fantastic amount, a good percentage of Major League Baseball players at least, that show their faith through their belts. And I think it's just super exciting. It's important to me. And it's really cool that we're able to help them show their faith on field, on camera. You've got, one of the guys who's a dear friend of mine, Mauricio Dubon, I've already spoke about, stating scripture on national televised games. Like
Isaiah 6:8, they said, who's who we sent, Lord? No, he replied, me.
It's like those are the kind of things that I'm like super, super excited to see, and hopefully continue. That trend, we don't make money on crosses on belts. Like that's not what it is. It's just being able to see, the gospel being shared through a baseball belt, which you would never expect, and we do, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. What's next for Pioneer?
I'm gonna take over the baseball world. I want it to be a household name when it comes to baseball. From there, we segue into golf, and then from there, we segue into everyday wear. Everyday wear, the amount of people that wear a belt in the world, we can service it in Coleman. We just have to build a bigger building right behind us.
I think complete world domination.
That's right. Complete world domination.